everybody, I'm Ken Thwaits, and you're at my shop here in Franklin, Tennessee. I've got a Camaro collection that you can see behind me, and of course all the porcelain neon signs from gas stations and that type of thing. I'm kind of a collector. My wife calls me a hoarder. This line here right in front of me is all 1969 Camaros, all the way from, pro touring cars that are hot rodded and got an LS motor in this first one here, all the way down to numbers matching cars. They're all original, fully restored, just like you would see it on the showroom. We have some third-gen cars like your IROC here. If you take a look at our 85 IROC, this car was the famous car that was found inside a semi-trailer. It lived its life there for 19 years or so until it was discovered. The guy who bought it didn't want it prepped. He wanted to pick it up right there and take it home right away. It has 5.9 miles on the odometer. It has never been driven. It is absolutely a time capsule and is brand new. Still smells brand new. Yeah, if you look at our collection here, I'm a Camaro collector. I like Chevrolet. I guess I should be running in the TA class in a Camaro there, but it's so funny. I was running the Ultimate Streetcar series, and I was looking for our next build, and I always liked an Audi R8 from the Iron Man series, and I just thought they were really cool cars. So we really started looking at street cars. We're going to turbocharge it. What's the best all-wheel drive system out there? And it's Quattro. So it was definitely Audi. And that really lended itself to that series. But as we started looking, we happened on the car that we ultimately ended up buying from Peter Cunningham at Real Time. They had this car. And it's like, well, hey, why don't we just buy this car and go run it somewhere and have fun with it? There's a route to pro racing that, you traditionally take. You go to a driver's school in SCCA. You run regional races, you run school races, then you graduate to nationals and you run national races. And now you're ready to turn pro, perhaps, and get your feet wet in pro racing. I did it a completely different route. I did it through SVRA. We bought our car and said, what's the first thing we got to do? Well, you got to go to a driver's school. And we got the car, went to Roebling Road, and went to school there with SVRA. Then we went and ran some races. And the whole time, so the guys that saw you at Roebling Road are now seeing you race for real out on the track. And we ran a couple of SVRA races, and then it was time to graduate to International GT, which is a little more competitive. Some really good drivers, real fast cars, and so we mixed it up with those guys and had a blast running that series. But in the back of my mind, I was watching Trans Am happen on the same race weekends as SVRA, and I thought, it would be really great to run this Audi R8 in Trans Am, in SGT. And I started talking about it with Trans Am, and they said, all right, let's put together a balance of performance for this car to make it to where it's not unfair for everybody else. And we got approved to run SGT. And we ran 5 races in 2019 in SGT. Well, we started our first Trans Am race at Indianapolis, and what better place to go to? I mean, I'd always been a spectator there. My business partner is Johnny Unser. He qualified for the Indy 500 5 years in a row, and I was there for that stuff. But I never thought I'd end up running on the actual track, and so it was really cool. First time there, first time racing in Trans Am. Hey, why not dive into the deep end, man, and let's go run Trans Am at Indianapolis. So we started there, and I was only going to do one race. I really only wanted to finish like 5th or better, get in the top 5, and we ended up in 2nd place. So that worked out pretty good. The next weekend, it's like, hey, let's go run Mid-Ohio. The car's in one piece, let's go. And we ran Mid-Ohio and had a blast running that place. And so it really kind of caught fire. I was just doing it one race at a time, pardon the cliche, but we really were, mostly from a budget standpoint, not, from, hey, should we do it or not? Do we have the money to go do it? And so we just kind of took it one race at a time, ran Road America, had a great time there. Ran CODA, ran VIR, had problems at VIR. I mean, we had a yard sale in our pit, but we were able to get the car back together and make the race. So it's the trials and tribulations of racing, and now it's the trials and tribulations of pro racing. Yeah, it really is funny. After I won at COTA, I'm up at the podium, and Paul Fanner's there. And Paul Fanner, who runs Racer Magazine, among others, and I go to him, I says, you know, can you believe I'm still doing this? And he says, yep, I still can. And, you know, it just, it kind of completes the circle of life, really, you know. This is what I was born to do. This is what I was made to do. But it was really great at the end of the season to go to the banquet, and the host of our banquet was Tommy Kendall. I know him very well and have stayed in touch with him throughout the years, and it was really cool to see him again and get roasted by him again as, you know, I got Rookie of the Year.
Now, when we raced 35 years ago, he beat me to the Mazda Pro Series Championship in 1985.
I claim the
You know, the XGT class was really created out of necessity. You know, there was really too much weight added to this car, too much engine restriction, and it really kind of took away the thrill of driving a GT3 car. I mean, these cars are light, quick, agile. And there's a lot of these cars out here that, like I said, you know, had no place to race. So the creation of XGT was just perfect timing. So now you've got GT3Rs, Porsches that we're running against, Aston Martins, you know, 458 Italias can come race with us. So all the GT3 cars that ran World Challenge that really have no home anymore have a place to come pro racing again. Well, you know, this car is available to a qualified driver. We want to make sure that they're going to be able to bring it home at the end of the weekend, at least in mostly all in one piece. You know, these cars are fairly easy to drive up to about 85%. It's getting that extra 15% out of it that takes a lot of skill and can take you to a potential win. And they're really fast. They're really quick. So the braking zones come up on you really fast, and you've got to hit the brakes, you know, very quickly and really hard. Yeah, one of the good things about the program that we run with our rental Audi R8 is you get the same benefit that I get when I race our black car at a Trans Am or IGT race. We've got a DAG, you know, the data acquisition geek that really runs the whole program. You can't run these cars without a laptop, it seems like. We also have an engineer on the car that gets it dialed in perfectly. So you get a top-level pro experience. And that's really what, you know, is attractive, and it would be attractive for me if I wanted to go pro racing, but I didn't want to have to warehouse a car, have a team, that type of thing. All I have to do is write a check, blow in, run my race, and blow out. This is the program for you. I mean, it's pretty inexpensive when you look at all the costs involved compared to running your own team. But with the schedule changes, I like it. I like running a compressed schedule. I don't like running a race 1 month and then you've got 4 weeks to race another time. I rather run every other weekend if possible, or back-to-back weekends. It just keeps you sharp as a driver. You can keep people busy and go crank it out. So I'm really looking forward to Indianapolis coming up in June, Mid-Ohio right after that. Right after that, we head up to Brainerd up in Minnesota, and so I mean we're going to crank out some races here in a short period of time. Like anything that I do, I try to make a business model work. So racing is like, oh geez, you know, it's you spend a lot of money to have a lot of fun. But I also try to incorporate some of the businesses that I'm involved with. Franklin Road Apparel, for example. Totally separate deal, has nothing to do with racing, but we sell really cool men's apparel, you know, and so if we can get people to go to our website, if they see our car and Franklin Road on the side of our car and go to our website, they, you know, who knows, maybe that'll entice somebody to go to our online store and buy something there. Forge Line Wheels, you know, they make the best wheels out there. You see Psycho Bunny on the back of the car. Psycho Bunny is one of the brands that we carry. I'm wearing it today. And they make really cool men's attire, casual attire, and they give us our team clothing. So I want to help promote them and maybe help drive people to their website or our website to buy the products. You know, one of the other things that we do as well is we have an embroidery shop, we have a screen printing shop, and we do team apparel. So if you need your driver's suit embroidered with whatever you want, we can do that. Instead of ironing on a patch and doing it at the last minute, send it out to us and we'll do it right for you. We're heavily involved with Audi Sport Customer Racing. They gave me a drive in one of their new GT2 cars, Club Sport cars, which was really cool. You know, and that's kind of the wave of the future for the gentleman racer. They're great cars, they're extremely reliable, you run against Porsches, and hopefully in XGT, maybe next year, maybe the year after, you'll see some Club Sport GT2 cars running in that series as well. They also help us with parts, and that type of thing, and I just like having a relationship with the factory of the car that we race. This car right here was really the first car that I raced in the Ultimate Street Car Series. And this is the first car I crashed in the Ultimate Street Car Series. And this is the famous car I wrecked at Road America. The guy comes over from OnStar.
Vehicle event detected. Connecting to OnStar
Emergency, this is Randall. Are there any injuries?
No injuries.
All right, sir. Where's your hand here? All right, I am here to help.
I'm all right.
All right, sir. I'm going to quickly contact the 911 center and your location.
I'm okay. I'm at a racetrack.
You're on a racetrack?
Yes.
Are you okay? And I'm sitting there trying to get out of the car, and I've got, you know, my seatbelts on and everything. I had to tell them, hey, it's okay. Don't call the cops. I'm at a racetrack. And so, and then the fodder on all the comments from all the you know, the keyboard jockeys from there really roasted me really good. And you know what? I deserved it because I wrecked a brand new Z28.